It all began when a few independent inventors, engineers, and passionate car enthusiasts decided that relying on external fuel or charging sources was not the only way forward. They believed that energy, in one form or another, is always around us, in motion, in heat, in electromagnetic waves, and that the real breakthrough lay in learning how to capture and reuse it efficiently. These pioneers began experimenting in their garages with old alternators, hybrid components, and magnetic rotors, searching for a way to make cars run longer on less energy. What they discovered was astonishing. Through careful calibration and the combination of regenerative coils and power recycling systems, they managed to keep their vehicles moving without constantly draining their batteries or refueling. This marked the quiet birth of what many now call the self-powered car revolution. It didn't start in a corporate lab or a government-funded research center. It started with regular people tinkering with their own vehicles. Across the United States, videos began appearing of cars running for hours without charging, and online communities started forming where innovators could share ideas, blueprints, and small successes. What made this movement truly special was its grassroots nature. No marketing campaigns, no big promises, just a collective mission to push the limits of what was thought possible. As the community grew, more refined prototypes emerged, incorporating new technologies like magnetic propulsion and kinetic energy recovery. Every improvement brought them closer to the dream of an energy-independent vehicle. In cities like Detroit, Phoenix, and Miami, workshops started popping up where small groups would meet to exchange knowledge and test new systems. Some early adopters even converted older gasoline vehicles into hybrid models that could generate their own power using modified alternators. Others took electric vehicles and added energy recapture systems to extend their range indefinitely. These developments drew attention from engineers who had once dismissed perpetual power as fantasy. The data was undeniable. These cars were running longer, using less energy, and in some cases, regenerating more than they consumed during certain driving conditions. As interest spread, more sophisticated designs appeared. People began combining multiple energy sources, solar panels, magnetic drive systems, and regenerative brakes, to maximize energy output. The concept was simple. If every part of a car that produces waste energy could feed power back into the system, the vehicle could sustain itself. This idea transformed the way people thought about transportation. It wasn't just about saving money on fuel or electricity, it was about independence. It was about taking control of the very energy that moves our world. The movement soon became symbolic of a larger mindset shift, from consumption to creation. The innovators leading this revolution weren't waiting for big automakers or governments to act. They were building the future with their own hands. From a few scattered experiments, the concept of self-powered car conversion evolved into a growing technological uprising. Today, that same pioneering spirit continues to inspire others who believe that the power to change how we drive lies not in machines themselves, but in the minds that dare to reimagine them. The real secret behind these self-powered conversions lies in the design of specialized kits that can be installed into existing vehicles, transforming them into energy-generating machines. These conversion kits are not just a single device, but a combination of advanced systems that work together to create a closed-loop energy cycle. At the heart of it all is the principle of energy regeneration, capturing every bit of motion, heat, and electromagnetic force that a car produces and converting it back into usable electricity. The core components often include regenerative coils, kinetic energy recovery modules, magnetic induction units, and power management circuits that synchronize the entire process. When assembled correctly, these parts enable a vehicle to charge itself while in motion, dramatically reducing or even eliminating the need for external charging or refueling. Inventors and engineers working on these conversions discovered that the key was not to create energy out of nothing, but to stop wasting the energy already being produced. Every vehicle loses energy through friction, heat, and braking, and these conversion kits are designed to reclaim that lost power. For instance, regenerative braking systems capture kinetic energy during deceleration and convert it into electrical energy stored in the battery. Similarly, modified alternators can generate electricity from the rotational force of the wheels or drive shaft without consuming additional fuel or battery charge. Over time, these innovations became more compact, efficient, and compatible with a wide range of vehicles, from compact sedans to large trucks. The kits are typically built with modular designs, making them easier for mechanics and even DIY enthusiasts to install. A standard setup might include a high-efficiency alternator, a magnetic induction coil system to generate additional current, and a smart power controller that regulates the flow of electricity between the battery and motor. The power controller is essential because it ensures that the system doesn't overload and that the energy flow remains balanced. Some more advanced versions also include a built-in inverter to store excess energy or redirect it back into the system as needed. These setups create what engineers call a continuous feedback loop, a process in which the car's motion sustains its own energy supply. Another major breakthrough in these kits involves the use of electromagnetic induction, a phenomenon first discovered by Michael Faraday. When a conductor moves through a magnetic field, it induces a current, and this principle is used to continuously generate electricity as the car moves. By strategically placing magnets and coils in the drivetrain, these systems can produce a steady current that charges the battery in real time. When combined with solar panels on the roof or hood, the car becomes even more efficient, drawing power from both motion and sunlight. The result is a vehicle capable of sustaining itself far beyond the limits of traditional electric cars. Instead of relying on massive external charging stations or fossil fuels, car owners can generate their own power simply by driving. It's a perfect blend of physics and practicality, a concept that's quietly reshaping the idea of transportation in America and beyond. Across the United States, an increasing number of car owners are embracing this bold new approach to energy independence by converting their own vehicles into self-powered machines. What once seemed like a fringe experiment has now become a growing underground trend among mechanics, engineers, and everyday drivers who are tired of rising fuel costs and the inconvenience of electric charging. In garages, basements, and small workshops, people are gathering tools, watching tutorials, and ordering specialized components online to transform their ordinary cars into energy-sustaining vehicles. What's remarkable is that these innovators aren't large corporations with multi-million-dollar budgets. They're regular citizens who believe that true progress comes from personal initiative. Many of these conversions start with open-source blueprints and DIY kits that can be found in online communities. Websites and forums dedicated to energy innovation have become hotbeds of collaboration, where enthusiasts exchange diagrams, troubleshoot problems, and showcase their successful builds. Platforms like YouTube, Reddit, and Facebook groups have become virtual classrooms for aspiring inventors. Here, individuals share step-by-step guides on modifying alternators, installing regenerative systems, and wiring magnetic coils for maximum efficiency. In these spaces, no idea is too ambitious, and every failure becomes an opportunity to learn. The spirit of innovation is alive and contagious, spreading rapidly from one garage to another. The process often begins with simple modifications, replacing standard alternators with custom-built models capable of producing higher energy output or adding a secondary regenerative system to the drivetrain. Others install permanent magnet generators that work in tandem with the existing motor to maintain continuous power flow. Over time, these setups become more sophisticated, integrating energy storage systems and smart regulators that automatically manage power distribution. Some even retrofit their vehicles with solar panels, allowing sunlight to provide an additional trickle charge. The results are astonishing. Cars that can run for extended periods without any external charge, often outperforming their stock counterparts in endurance and energy efficiency. In places like California, Florida, and Texas, car enthusiasts are forming local clubs to showcase their converted vehicles. These gatherings serve as both educational events and proof of concept for skeptics. Drivers proudly demonstrate their cars running for hours or days without refueling or plugging in, often under controlled conditions to document performance. Independent researchers and hobbyist engineers are beginning to take notice, recording data and refining the designs for broader use. Some have even managed to patent their modifications, although many choose to share their work freely to accelerate collective progress. The movement is not just technological, it's cultural. For many Americans, building a self-powered car represents freedom. Freedom from gas prices, from energy corporations, and from environmental guilt. It's about proving that innovation doesn't need permission or billion-dollar funding. Every successful conversion becomes a statement that sustainability can start with individual action. As more car owners join this growing network of self-powered innovators, it's becoming clear that this movement is not a passing trend but the beginning of a quiet revolution driven by creativity, curiosity, and determination. The science that makes self-powered car conversions possible is rooted in well-established physical principles. Yet it's the creative way these principles are combined that makes the technology so extraordinary. Every vehicle already produces energy through motion, friction, heat, and electromagnetic fields, but much of it is wasted. The key innovation behind self-powered systems is capturing this wasted energy and redirecting it back into the vehicle's power cycle. Through technologies like regenerative braking, magnetic flux control, and hybrid solar-electric circuits, inventors are finding ways to keep a car's power supply self-sustaining for extended periods of time. Instead of allowing energy to dissipate into the air, these systems recycle it, turning loss into gain and inefficiency into opportunity. Regenerative braking is one of the foundational technologies enabling this transformation. When a driver slows down, the kinetic energy of the car is typically lost as heat due to friction. In a self-powered system, however, this kinetic energy is captured by converting the motion of the wheels into electricity, which is then stored in the battery. Over time, this alone can provide a significant portion of the vehicle's total energy needs. Similarly, modified alternators and permanent magnet generators can be installed to continuously convert mechanical motion into electrical current without creating additional drag on the engine or motor. These components generate electricity even as the car moves, creating a steady inflow of power that can recharge the battery during operation. Another major component is magnetic flux control. This concept revolves around the precise management of magnetic fields to optimize energy conversion. By strategically positioning magnets and coils in the drivetrain, the system can produce continuous electrical current from the car's natural motion. The innovation lies in minimizing resistance and heat while maximizing the magnetic field's interaction with conductive materials. In simpler terms, every time the car moves, it generates electricity, not just from the wheels turning but from the electromagnetic reactions happening within the system itself. Some designs even employ pulsed magnetic fields to enhance the efficiency of the power loop, allowing more energy to be captured without sacrificing performance. Solar integration is another element that takes the technology a step further. Thin-film solar panels can be installed on the roof, hood, or trunk of the vehicle to supplement the power system. These panels don't need to provide the car's full energy demand. They simply assist in maintaining charge levels and supporting secondary systems like climate control or onboard electronics. When combined with regenerative and magnetic systems, solar energy adds another layer of sustainability, ensuring the vehicle remains charged even when parked or idling. All of these scientific mechanisms rely on precise synchronization through advanced power management circuits. These circuits constantly monitor voltage, current, and battery levels, adjusting energy flow in real time to maintain balance. It's a delicate harmony between motion, magnetism, and electricity, one that transforms the simple act of driving into a continuous energy cycle. What was once thought to violate the laws of physics is now being achieved through clever engineering and deep understanding of energy transformation. The science doesn't create energy from nothing, it simply refuses to waste what's already there. When a breakthrough challenges the foundation of trillion-dollar industries, resistance is inevitable. The rise of self-powered car conversions has not gone unnoticed by the major players in the energy and automotive sectors, and many believe that powerful interests are quietly working to suppress or discredit this movement. Large automakers, oil corporations, and even certain government agencies have built their empires on systems that depend on continuous fuel consumption or charging networks. A car that powers itself threatens not only their profits, but also their control over global energy distribution. It represents independence for consumers, and for some, that's simply too disruptive. Behind closed doors, stories have begun circulating about inventors who faced unexpected obstacles, from patent rejections to mysterious project shutdowns, after attempting to bring their self-sustaining car technologies into the mainstream. The first line of pushback often comes in the form of skepticism and ridicule. Established industry voices dismiss the idea as pseudoscience, arguing that perpetual motion is impossible and that anyone claiming otherwise is a fraud. This kind of criticism spreads quickly through the media, creating doubt among the public. Yet, many of the same critics fail to acknowledge that the technology doesn't rely on creating energy out of nothing, but rather on efficiently recycling energy that's already present. Still, by framing these inventors as unrealistic dreamers, big corporations manage to maintain control over the narrative. They know that if people start believing in self-powered conversions, the demand for gasoline, electricity, and even factory-produced EVs could drop dramatically. There have also been more direct forms of suppression. Several independent engineers have claimed that after filing patents for advanced regenerative or magnetic drive systems, they were contacted by larger companies offering to buy their technology, often with the condition that it never be publicly released. Others reported that their online tutorials and videos mysteriously disappeared or were flagged for misinformation, even when backed by demonstrable data. In a few instances, entire workshops were reportedly shut down due to regulatory issues that seemed to appear out of nowhere. While these claims are difficult to verify, the pattern raises questions about how far corporate and institutional interests will go to protect existing revenue streams. Despite these challenges, the movement continues to grow because it's driven not by profit, but by purpose. Innovators are sharing their designs through decentralized platforms, open-source communities, and encrypted groups to prevent suppression. They're teaching others to replicate their experiments at home, ensuring that the knowledge can't be buried or bought out. The more people that join, the harder it becomes to silence them. What began as a handful of mechanics in home garages has evolved into a collective defiance of industrial monopolies. The pushback from big energy and automakers may slow progress, but it can't stop it. History has shown that every great technological revolution, from electricity to aviation, faced fierce opposition before becoming mainstream. The resistance itself is proof of how powerful the idea truly is. Self-powered car technology represents not just innovation, but freedom, and that's something no corporation can suppress forever. The future of self-powered transportation is unfolding faster than most people realize, driven by both necessity and innovation. As energy costs continue to rise and concerns about climate change intensify, the idea of vehicles that generate their own power is becoming not just appealing, but essential. Experts predict that within the next decade, self-sustaining car systems could shift from experimental prototypes to commercial reality. Early adopters and small-scale innovators are already proving the concept works, and now larger manufacturers are quietly exploring how to integrate similar technologies into their future designs. Once the cost of key components, such as high-efficiency alternators, magnetic generators, and advanced energy storage systems, begins to fall, the technology will move rapidly into the mainstream. One of the main forces pushing this transformation is the increasing demand for energy independence. People are growing weary of relying on unstable fuel markets and inconvenient charging infrastructures. A car that can sustain itself without needing to stop for power offers a level of freedom that no traditional vehicle can match. This independence extends beyond personal convenience. It has massive implications for economies, energy grids, and the environment. Imagine entire fleets of vehicles that require no fuel stations, no charging cables, and no downtime. Cities could redesign their infrastructure, replacing gas stations with green spaces or community charging. Hubs that collect and store surplus power from self-powered cars. Technological development is accelerating, with breakthroughs in lightweight materials, smart energy management, and solid-state batteries making self-sustaining systems even more efficient. Solid-state batteries, for example, can store more energy with less weight, allowing vehicles to capture and reuse every bit of generated electricity more effectively. Meanwhile, artificial intelligence is being integrated into power management systems to optimize the flow of energy in real time. Cars will soon be able to predict driving patterns, weather conditions, and energy needs, adjusting their internal systems to maintain the perfect energy balance without driver input. Combined with solar augmentation and kinetic recovery systems, the result will be vehicles that practically take care of their own energy demands. Beyond personal vehicles, the impact of self-powered transportation could revolutionize entire industries. Shipping companies could operate fleets of self-sustaining trucks that cross the country without refueling. Public transit systems could become completely autonomous and self-sufficient, drastically reducing operational costs and emissions. Even developing countries could benefit by converting older vehicles into self-powered models, eliminating the need for expensive fuel imports or unreliable power grids. This technology has the potential to democratize transportation in a way that no previous innovation has achieved, making mobility cleaner, cheaper, and more accessible to everyone. The societal shift that will come with self-powered cars could be as significant as the transition from horse-drawn carriages to combustion engines. It will change how people view travel, ownership, and even energy itself. When vehicles become independent sources of power, the line between transportation and energy generation will blur. Homes could charge from cars, rather than the other way around. Communities could build microgrids powered by their residents' vehicles. In this future, the car is no longer just a machine for movement. It's an integral part of a global, sustainable energy ecosystem.